Hi everyone, I'm Joanne with Newegg TV and I'm here to overview this Nanoxia Deep Silence 2 mid-tower computer case. It comes in black, white, silver, and anthracite, which is basically gunmetal. We'll be going over the black version today. Here's a 360 look at the case, but first I'd like to go over the dimensions. So you get 207 millimeters or 8.1 inches wide and 468 millimeters or 18.4 inches tall and 588 millimeters or 23.1 inches deep, and this is a very deep case. Normally the depth of the case is similar to the height of the case. Anyway, moving right along, the weight is 10.96 kilograms or 24.1 pounds, which is a little bit more than half of what the Deep Silence 6 weighs, which is a ton. Had a lot of trouble hoisting it onto the table the other day without help. But back to this case, it has a steel body, very sturdy, thick steel, as well as some plastic construction, and you'll notice some ventilation holes on this side. Get some on this side as well. And up at the front, you'll see this kind of brushed finished look, which is a nice stylish touch. Let's open up this magnetic door to one side, and it can only be swung open to this side. You get some sound dampening foam behind the door, as well as 3 5¼ inch drive bays, a reset button, and fan speed controllers. But let's go back to the 5¼ inch base, so easily removable. Behind it, also foam to help capture dust, and there's also a 3.5 inch adapter inside of here. And now back to the fan speed controllers. So you have one on the left and on the right. These are slider style controls. The left one controls the A set of fans, the right one the B set of fans. 3 fans each with a total of 6 total fans. And keep in mind that the total watts per channel should be 18 watts or under. And I'm just going to open up the front panel and take it off. Please be careful though, there are cables attached, so don't just yank it off. And you'll notice some more insulation materials here on this side, some more foam padding here. And here are the 2 pre-installed 120 millimeter Nanoxia silent fans at max RPM 1300. And to remove the fans, actually you see this filter right here, you'll need to remove the filter too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to go ahead and remove those screws. With the 4 screws removed, on the other side, careful, there are cables attached, fan cables. You'll notice the 2 front intakes, green tinted blades of Nanoxia fans, and there's also mounting points for a 140 millimeter fan if that is what you're into. Now that the front fan dust filter has been screwed back in and the panel reinstalled, let's move on and see what the rest of the case has to offer. You'll notice this kind of like closed ventilated area here with mounting points for a 120 or 140 millimeter fan. Well, that's because there's some insulated material on the other side that you'll need to remove. It's just a little square, I'll show you in a minute, before you can install that fan. So right here. And on the rear of the case, you get a couple grommets to thread your cables through or water cooling tubes. Oh, and a couple down here too. Ventilation holes here, all honeycomb ventilation. A pre-installed 120 millimeter Nanoxia silent rear exhaust fan. Also looks like there's mounting points for an 80 and I believe a 90 or a 92 millimeter fan. This is also at the 1300 RPM max. So next to that, knockout for your input-output shield for your motherboard, 7 expansion slots, and a bottom power supply mount. There is some foam on here and some foam padded feet to help with the noise reduction, as this is meant to be a silent case. And a bottom dust filter, always awesome to have. And on this side, because of course it's built for silence, nothing going on to trap all that noise in. At the top of the case, you get mounting points for 2 120s or 2 140 millimeter fans. And like the side fan setup, they're also covered with this sound dampening foam material. So just remove these 8 screws here to be able to access the mounts. And you'll notice that because of the spacing, you probably won't be able to include a radiator, but you will be able to inside. I'll show you that once we take a look at the interior. Now onto this side, you get power button, with an LED ring, headphone, microphone jacks, 2 USB 3.0 ports, and 1 USB 2.0 port. On to the bottom. On the bottom, you get these rather tall chrome feet with rubber padding to help with noise reduction. Once again, very nice. And this is the area where the dust filter fit. And I have it off right now, but it's there. And over here is where your power supply sits, rounded ventilation holes I see, and a mounting point for a 120 or 140 millimeter fan. I've removed the thumb screws for the right side panel, so let's take a look at what the right side has to offer. Over here, you'll notice that you get a full back panel of this sound dampening material, which is great for keeping the sound inside. And over here, you get a large cutout for your aftermarket heatsink, a lot of these rubber grommets to thread your cables through, one up here at the top too, and plenty of tie-down points kind of just scattered throughout for you to organize those cables. And over here, here's a look at the 3.5-inch drives and the toolless design for the 5.25-inch drives. And just a few things I want to go over is the motherboard compatibility. It's compatible with mini ATX, micro ATX, ATX, and eATX motherboards. And one more thing is that you get about 20 millimeters of space behind the motherboard tray to route all of those cables. I've removed the thumb screws for the left side panel. Let's take a look at the insulated materials on the inside. Once again, all over, sound dampening, and the little square where you remove so you can install that 120 or 140 millimeter fan. It's a quite heavy case panel, even for a mid-tower case like this, so you know good quality. And here's another look at the rear exhaust 120. You can see more of that green color on the blades. Comes with a 3-pin connector. Just move this case a little bit closer to me. And let me just tilt this. You'll notice the foam padding here up at the top. It's quite thick actually, probably about maybe 10 millimeters maybe. And just very soft to the touch as well. Let me tilt this down this way and move it. You'll see the foam padding for where the power supply sits in that corner right there. Move it back. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at what these cables have. So, the 2 3-pin connectors for the front fans, I believe. And Molex to power the fan speed controllers. Set of fan A headers. Should also be getting a set of fan B as well. Fan B headers. I like that all the cables are black. That is a nice touch, and these are flat. And let's see what else you get. Of course, a 20-pin USB 3 header. These are definitely becoming more common. And USB 2 connector as well. Of course, you get audio and power, reset, and LED plugs. On this side, once again, the 5.25-inch drive bays with the toolless design, and if you can see the 3.5-inch drive adapter right in there. And over here, you get 7 3.5-inch drives. This drive cage is not removable, unfortunately. It does come installed with rivets. But let's take a look at the drive trays. Also, metal design. Really love the feel of this case. And you also get some rubber padding here to help with noise reduction. This is good for both 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch drives, so you can install up to 7 of 2.5, 3.5, or switch them up. And here on this side, you'll notice these 3 screws here and this kind of mounting bracket here for a radiator. Just move these cables here so you can get a better view of it. You can mount up to a 240 millimeter radiator. And you could do a push-pull configuration. The spacing should be okay, but it might cut into the graphics card space. In addition to a 240 radiator or 120, you can also install 120 millimeter fans, 1 or 2. Now moving on to the clearance of the case for the CPU cooler height. to 165 millimeters, or it is 6.4 inches. For the power supply, 200 millimeters, or 7.8 inches. And for the graphics card without this bracket, it'll be 370 millimeters, or 14.5 inches, with the bracket in place, 13.5 inches, or 345 millimeters. I'll have to give you both measurements. Last but not least, we have accessories. A color manual with 3 different languages. German comes first. This is a German-based company made in Germany, and that means awesome engineering. So move to the center, you'll get to the English instructions, and I like how they show you exactly how to put everything together, and then you also get some French instructions. Very cool. And in this box, we will have some more of the accessories. Let's see what you get. First up, you get this 4+4 pin CPU extension cable. It is sleeved and black, very useful if you need the extra reach. And you also get these rubberized pads. There should be 2 more actually. 1 and... So basically what these are used for is on the back of the case, you'll have these rubberized grommets, but let's say you do not use those, you can go ahead and place these in place of these, probably for more silence. That's a nice little touch that they've added for you. You also have in this bag a 5¼ to 3.5 inch drive adapter, bay cover for the front of the case for that 3.5 inch bay. And in this bag, zip ties, as well as gold motherboard standoffs and your various other mounting screws for your hard drives, optical drives, and the like. That wraps up this overview on this Nanoxia Deep Silence 2 mid-tower computer case. I'm Joanne, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our Newegg YouTube channel as well as our other YouTube channels. Thanks for watching Newegg TV, and we'll see you next time.